So what is the best gaming processor for you? In this video, we'll break down the top 5 gaming CPUs on the market this year based on price versus performance and situations they'll be used in. So whether you're looking for the best Intel CPU, the best AMD CPU, or simply the best of the best, stay tuned. We'll have an option for you. All the links to find the best prices on all the products mentioned in this video will be in the description below. The products are in no exact order, so be sure to stay tuned till the end so you don't miss anything. First up, the Intel Core i9-12900K, our pick for best overall gaming CPU. Intel Core i9-12900K is the best overall gaming processor you can get right now, and has everything you need for intense gaming, including plenty of cores for excellent performance. This processor comes with a redesigned socket, so if your motherboard doesn't have an Intel LGA 1700 socket, you'll have to upgrade. To soften the blow, the ROG Strix Z690E gaming Wi-Fi motherboard with a compatible socket is included in the box, making everything a whole lot easier. This processor is based off of Intel's new 12th generation Alder Lake S architecture and offers a 10 to 15% jump in performance per watt, thanks to improvements to the individual transistors that make up the processor. In a nutshell, for pure gaming performance, the Intel Core i9-12900K is about 2% slower than the Ryzen 9 5900X, which we'll be looking at later in the video. Alder Lake also brings support for PCIe 5.0. For now, it feels a bit pointless, but that will change. PCIe 4.0 devices are only now really taking off, and it'll probably be a while before we start seeing SSDs and graphics cards really taking advantage of PCIe 5.0. But when that happens, the 12900K will be ready. The CPU's 16 cores are split right down the middle, with 8 performance cores and 8 efficiency cores. So while the heavy lifting is being handled by the performance cores, all background tasks are routed to the efficiency cores. That means that things like your browser running in the background or listening to Spotify while gaming won't slow down what you really need the performance for. If you're looking for a gaming CPU that offers strong performance, excellent multitasking, and the assurance of future-proofing, the Intel Core i9-12900K is an excellent choice. With the new chip layout and efficiency cores to power background tasks, you won't have to worry about anything slowing you down. Next up, the Intel Core i5-12600K, our pick for best Intel gaming CPU for the money. The Intel Core i5 is the CPU that really matters for most gamers. It's cheaper than an i7 or i9, but still offers the fundamentals of what makes those chips great for gaming, and comes at almost half the price. Like the Intel Core i9-12900K, the Core i5-12600K supports PCIe 4.0 and is built using Alder Lake S architecture, marking a significant improvement over their 11th gen Rocket Lake predecessors. This allows Intel to make its best gaming processor claim without massaging the numbers too much. You get 2 sets of CPU cores in a 6+4 design. This means that there are 6 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. Both the performance and efficiency cores share access to 20 megabytes of L3 Intel Smart Cache, along with the onboard UHD Graphics 770. The Core i5-12600K sits just below the 5 GHz mark on its performance cores, which means you'll have to tweak it yourself to push it over that milestone. But that shouldn't be a problem, with Intel's promise of plenty of overclocking headroom. Something that's definitely worth mentioning is that Intel recommends using Windows 11 with this processor to get the most out of it. That comes down to the hybrid architecture and something Intel calls the Thread Director, which helps the OS schedule tasks with greater granularity as to what's going on. Also noteworthy, and following the Intel Core i9-12900K, is the fact that this processor also utilizes the redesigned LGA 1700 socket, so you may need to upgrade your motherboard and CPU cooler if they are not compatible. If you don't need the power of the Intel Core i9-12900K, the Intel Core i5-12600K offers a great middle ground and is a very good choice for gaming. This processor delivers a clever balance of price and performance, and that makes the entire 12th gen platform a little more digestible. Next up, the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, our pick for best AMD CPU. The AMD Ryzen 9 5900X is an absolute monster of a CPU, bringing the biggest generational jump in single-core performance in years, and is one of the best high-end gaming CPUs for power users. This 12-core 24-thread processor has a base clock of 3.7 GHz that can boost up to 4.8 GHz. It has 64 megabytes of L3 cache, and it keeps the same TDP of 105 watts. The Zen 3 architecture that's in place was built from the ground up with 3 primary goals. The first goal was focused on single-core performance, as AMD didn't want to have a great increase in IPC by spreading their workloads across a ton of cores. The next goal was latency. This meant unifying cores in cache in a continuous 8-core complex, creating better communication between the cores and lower memory latency by having more cache available. The last goal was efficiency, that would offer high performance while keeping temperatures in check. But AMD's greatest achievement really shows in its gaming performance. If you look at the performance of everything before the 5000 series, you'll see that even something like an Intel 8700K would give you better performance than a top-end 3000 series AMD chip. So for the longest time, the opinion was that if you wanted the highest FPS, you'd have to go with Intel. But now, the choice isn't so clear. Where Intel may excel with a particular game, AMD might kill it on another. This levels the playing field a lot, and if you're a true gamer, you'll definitely benefit with the greater choice that's now available. If gaming is important to you and you're not married to Intel, the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X is an excellent choice. It's an incredibly powerful processor and goes beyond what last generation CPUs had to offer, and with 12 cores and 24 threads, a large selection of games should show big performance increases. If you're interested in updated pricing on any of the items mentioned in this video, be sure to check out the links below. Prices update on these products almost daily with sales and general price drops, so if you want to find the most updated information, check the description. If you find this video helpful, please help out the channel by giving this video a like and tell us which product caught your eye in the comments below. Next up, the Intel Core i5-12400. Some might regard the Intel Core i5-12400 as one of the least exciting processors from the 12th gen Alder Lake CPUs. But in fact, it's an excellent gaming processor with impressive overclocking abilities, and best of all, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. This processor has the same Alder Lake special sauce that makes the Core i9-12900K and Core i5-12600K such potent contenders. It's a 6-core CPU that is the result of Intel's focus on the mid-range market, and one of the absolute best value gaming chips around. And the decision to enable hyperthreading on its full range of processors gives the i5-12400 some serious multi-threading muscle for the money. While this isn't a hybrid processor, and it's missing the extra efficiency cores that add to the versatility of chips like the Core i9 and Core i5, it still rocks with the Golden Cove architecture inside its pure performance cores. The Core i5-12400 isn't really made for multi-threading, so those 6 powerful performance cores are more than enough for a dedicated budget gaming chip. You're also not restricted to Windows 11 to get the most out of this CPU either. In straight CPU performance terms, the Core i5-12400 is pretty impressive, offering great single-core performance and solid multi-threaded prowess despite the lack of efficiency cores. What really highlights the power of the Golden Cove microarchitecture is how the Core i5-12400 compares with the best CPU of the 11th gen range. Almost across the board, the Core i5 tops the Core i9. It's only in heavily multi-core focused applications that the 2 additional cores of the Core i9-11900K come into play. If you're looking for a gaming processor with great performance at a budget price point, the Intel Core i5-12400 is a very good choice. It offers performance that's on par with the best of the last generation, and when paired with the right motherboard, can deliver excellent overclocking potential. Last but not least, the AMD Ryzen 5 5600X, our pick for best AMD gaming CPU for the money. Like the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, the AMD Ryzen 5 5600X is based on the Zen 3 architecture, is the most affordable in the Zen 3 family, and promises everything a AAA gamer could possibly want. This gaming CPU is a 6-core 12-thread processor with a base clock of 3.7 GHz and maximum boost of 4.6 GHz. It's built up of a single core complex that has 32 MB of L3 cache and the same I/O die that can be found in Zen 2. Like all of the Ryzen desktop CPUs, this processor doesn't come with integrated graphics, meaning you'll either have to buy a new GPU or use your old one in the interim. When it comes to gaming, this processor is excellent, and like the Intel Core i9-12900K and Intel Core i5-12600K, the Ryzen 9 5600X supports PCIe 4.0. In addition to the CPU, you get an AMD Wraith cooler, which is pretty good on its own, but if you plan on overclocking, you'd probably be better off with a third-party all-in-one liquid cooler or a more robust air cooler. Other more granular improvements include an optimized boosting algorithm, improved memory overclocking, and reworked cache topology that delivers a new level of power efficiency. In fact, the Ryzen 5 5600X is one of the most power-efficient desktop PC chips around right now. Even though the 5600X is limited to 6 cores, it's still a powerhouse, offering smoother performance and higher minimum frame rates for a better gaming experience overall. If this isn't a great value, I'm not sure what really is. The AMD Ryzen 5 5600X delivers awesome gaming performance that particularly shines in 1080p and is a great mid-range choice for a gaming CPU. This 6-core processor runs cool thanks to its bundled CPU cooler, and it's backwards compatible with older motherboards. If you guys like this video or this video helped you, please give the video a like. Links to all the products mentioned are in the description below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date on the latest and greatest in tech. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.